I'd like to just begin with 3 slides. Do you know where this quote came from? We cannot solve problems by using the same kind of thinking when we created them. And this is I would like to think, a good segue from Professor Mario's presentation, because I think it applies to most everything we're really talking about or frustrated about in this country. Okay, let's move on to the second slide. Logic will take you from A to B, but imagination will take you everywhere. Still no guess? Third slide. I think you would know this. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Yes, the great Einstein. Well, guess what? The first 2 quotations were also from Albert Einstein. Because Albert Einstein, we always associate him with being scientific, being rather nerdy, or was a nerd. He was just a very much of a genius nerd. But he was a great humanist. And he did speak of imagination in terms of really the humanity, the common humanity that we must all aspire to and understand, the connectedness that we all must have with each other. So I begin with that. Can I get a profile of the audience here, because it seems awfully young? Who were born after 1983 when Ninoy Aquino was assassinated? Oh my gosh. Who were born after 1986 when People Power 1 happened? Okay, so this is the generation. You were all born around the time of the Aquino assassination and Cory Aquino's accession to the presidency. That was about, give or take, 25 years ago already. And you know, we keep talking about, if you come to think of it, those 25 years just went in a flash. Here we are. I even finished 3 terms in Congress. And Congress, as they say, like pro is the opposite of con, ganun pa rin. Progress is the opposite of Congress. Even worse now, you know? And you think, oh my goodness, 25 years, 9 years in Congress. I started with great hopes in 1998 when I was a 31-year-old congressman. I finished it stripped of CDF, stripped of my chairmanship of the Ecology Committee, because I stood for the impeachment and was one of the main endorsers. So I was punished for that. Garci ran in my district. And Garci manipulated the votes of the district. But that's another story. You can invite me for another forum for inside stories on that. But the point here is, 25 years, tapos na. If we're in our early 40s, you think, ilan na lang taon maiiwan sa atin to really do something that changes radically, that we can imagine a different Philippines. Give or take 20 years, that's all we really have. That's all we really have, at least from our generation. You have 40 years ahead of you. But we converge on this critical crossroads and juncture generationally with new technologies, with new innovations, with a different sets of looking at the world, just because it's a vastly different global 21st century. So these are the challenges that face us. Okay, can we get back then to the first slide and remain there? We cannot solve our problems now using the same kind of thinking that created them. Agree? Yes. And so we have to imagine and reimagine the Philippines. You know what? We can go through the line of a litany of why nots. Why not a safer, greener world, as I said earlier? Why not cleaner air for Metro Manila? Why not better traffic and EDSA? Why not better this, that, or the other for taxes and services coming from government? Why not better, cleaner, fairer elections? Why not more honest politicians, although that's an oxymoron? Why not taller leaders? Not tall necessarily in the height sense, but in terms of the tallness of character. Why not? Why not? Why not? But let me submit to you that nothing of those why nots can get going and gain traction until we return to ask ourselves, each of us, why not a reimagined Filipino, a reimagined citizen of the world, a reimagined country, a reimagined future? And this is the anecdote that I will relate to you. You know Cherise Pimpenko. You're a YouTube generation. She's a 15-year-old wisp of a girl. She sings from I don't know where, but that's power. Although she's really not dime in a dozen, she's really dime in a dozen. Ang dami, di ba? Na ganun kaganda, ang gagaling na kumanta. Very talented ang Pilipino. Yes? I'm sure some of you could be even better singers or actors or other talented young individuals. But she was, this YouTube that was uploaded of her singing got her all the way to Ellen DeGeneres show in Hollywood. You know that, right? And I think she just recently got to Oprah. Well, guess what? So, of course, all these Filipinos, you're getting into YouTube and all the hits, hundreds of thousands. Ang galing, galing. Another Filipino makes it to some American TV show, as if that's only our validation of how talented we are, no? But anyway, the story is, after her debut there, and everyone raved about it, and she got a standing ovation, she was asked by a Filipino channel in Los Angeles, the story goes, about how she felt. Anong pakiramdam nyo na inimbita ka rito, nakakanta ka rito, sumikat ka? Wow, talagang first time mo rito. Kasi I don't know what province she comes from. And then she was just in tears and truly very, very, very jubilant about this experience. And this is how she answered. Tuwang-tuwa po ako eh. And then she starts to sob. Kasi kahit na Pilipino lang ako eh, inimbita ako dito. Think about that for a second. Kahit na Pilipino lang ako, nakarating ako dito sa Amerika at inimbita ako. But isn't that at some back recesses of our thinking and our collective psyche, the thing that dominates our consciousness? OFW lang ako. Hindi naman ako pinapansin dito eh, mag-a-abroad na lang ako. Karaniwang mamamayan lang naman ako eh. Kaya, tibale na. Pare-pareho naman yan silang lahat. Hindi na ako makikialam. Dinadaya naman lang ang boto ko eh. Karaniwang Pilipino lang. OFW lang. Estudyante lang. We limit ourselves and we tell ourselves we cannot imagine anything beyond that. And that is probably where we have to return. Before we answer any of the policy questions, any of the specifics of what to do and what not to do, about everything from traffic and garbage, the environment, health, education, and the future of this country, we return to asking, why not reimagine who we are? Why not say we are a proud race? And I give you this quote as well from a great Filipino literary scholar over a century ago. We don't learn about these greats anymore as we should. Francisco Balagtas, who wrote Florante at Laura. And Florante at Laura was the book that Jose Rizal brought to him to Europe. It was the tome that Apolinario Mabini rewrote, or at least worked on and developed in Guam for some of his other writings. It was inspiration. Florante at Laura, let's go back to it. But at stanza 14, it goes, he writes, sa loob at labas ng bayan kong sawi. Sa loob at labas ng bayan kong sawi, kaliluhay siyang nangyayaring hari. Kagaling at bait ay nalulugami, nilibing at ininis sa dusa at pighati. Beautiful, beautiful old Tagalog. Inside and outside of this suffering country, treachery is king. Goodness and excellence are weakened and buried in anguish and misery. That is the state of a weakly imagined Philippines and Filipino spirit. Kasi ang kagaling at bait ay nalulugami, ininis at inilibing sa dusa at pighati. Dahil nga, ang kaliluhay siyang nangyayaring hari. Because treachery has become king. Cheating has become king. Dishonesty has become king. The instrumentalizing of law has become king. The harassment of opponents, the silencing of dissent in various ways, the abuse of power, the endemic corruption has become king. Kaliluhay siyang nangyayaring hari. So maybe it is not for Cherise Pimpenko to say, or any of our young Filipinos, na Pilipino ako. At hindi lang ako isang batang Pilipino, ako ay magiging isang magaling na whatever she wants to be. That's how we should reimagine lang. Not kasi ganito lang ako. But hindi lang ako OFW. Ako ay nagsusumikap na maging mas maaliwalas ang buhay ng pamilya ko. At ako ay nagbibigay ng alibyo sa ekonomiya ng Pilipinas. We have to reimagine. We have to reimagine how we even talk to ourselves. And 2010 is the crucial crossroads and that very juncture when we must make that decision. Who of you are in Friendster, Facebook, MySpace, any of these things? Yes? Who of you have an email account? Of course, everyone here. 12, 14 million online gamers now. I invite you, invite each of us to reconfigure and reimagine Philippine politics, and let us begin now towards 2010. Let us reimagine democracy for this country, and let us force the people who say they're going to run for president or who's going to run for whatever position to reimagine it along with us. And if they don't care because they're going to be stuck in the same old kind of thinking, well, iwanan na natin sila. It's your generation. It's our next 20 years. It's your next 40 years. It's not theirs. But we must bring them along because this is the country that we love. And I think that is the why not I would like to leave with you. It is why not Filipinos everywhere who will say, I am proud and I will never allow goodness and excellence inherent in my being, inherent in my spirit, to be buried in anguish and misery. We've had enough of that. And then we can talk about the options and the specifics. Those are operational details. But we begin with a soaring sense of what we can do and the possibilities that exist in each of us in the cyberspaces that we all now are denizens of. I call them the parliaments of the internet. Let's use that. Let's redefine politics leading up to 2010. 20 months na lang. And that is where I leave you with this last thought that a sage once said, that the moment you extinguish hope, you create desperation. We've seen desperation, we see desperation. Not just rice crisis, not just ZTE scandals, and everything else that has been happening, not just Garcia and everyone else. But we know that that is not the country we want. We may be cynical and say, ayoko na, pare-pareho lang yan silang lahat. But that is the most defeatist of thinking. And I think we must return to the imagination that Einstein talks about, to the newness and to the innovations that we can all embrace. This is our generation. And I will be proud to say it's still ours. We're still young. And as Jovi Salonga, our great Liberal Party stalwart, would say, you're only as old as your fears and doubts and your cynicism. You'll always be as young as your hopes and dreams. The last thing we want is a desperate country, a desperate generation, and a desperate future. Keep it hope. Hope will fill us all. That's hope we can all believe in. Maraming salamat po. Good afternoon.